How's it going, everybody? Start off. Just want to send my condolences to the league office. Everybody kind of knows what kind of went down there. Don't need to talk too much further about that. Here we go.
Caleb, 7 practices in. What's kind of your self-assessment of where you're at and where you still need to go?
Yeah, whether it's now or 10 years from now, there's always going to be progress to be had. There's always going to be a spot that I can be better at. So I think right now I'm doing well with the process. Whether that's before the snap, whether that's after the snap, whether it's footwork, all these different things. Protecting the football past couple of practices has been key and important. It's important in any season in any moment. So I think as of right now, I think it's been pretty solid. The progress that we've been having, progress that I've been having, and I think that's a big part of it is being able to go out there and have all 11 guys. That's been my goal, is have all 11 guys on the same page, rolling off the ball. I think we need to get a little bit better rolling off the ball together, and that's partly on me. And then other than that, just everybody not thinking so much, and it's day 7. We got a lot going on. The DA throws a lot of different looks at us, and so I think just getting to the point where we're not thinking, and it's unconscious, and we're just rolling.
Specifically, when it comes to handling all the motions and shifts in this offense, what's the next stage of that for you? Is it just knowing what attaches to which play, the timing? What all goes into that for you?
I think as of right now, I think I'm rolling. I'm pretty smooth with it as of right now. Obviously, you want to be 100% when you're out there with the calls and hearing it and making sure. There's so many words that we have in our playbook, and you put so many words together that sometimes they kind of sound the same. So just when you hear a play, you start to hear the play. It's like, okay, I know what the play is, and I know exactly what we have. So it comes down to just a little bit more studying. It comes down to a little bit more practicing. A lot more reps and things like that over time. So, I think that's where it is. I think that's where it's at right now, and we're going to keep progressing. I'm going to keep progressing and getting after it.
Caleb, how does the workload of what you're being asked to learn right now compare to last year and college?
Yeah, it's different. It's going to be different every year. Next year I'll be handling more. Next year I'll be handling more. Year after that I'll be handling more. I think that's where it's at right now. We're installing a bunch. They're putting they've installed a lot OTAs now, and they're just seeing how much I can retain, and I take pride in trying to retain it all, every single detail that we have, and I think that's where I've been growing so far since Ben's been here is retaining all the information. All of it makes sense to me, and being able to go out there and execute. Obviously, there's going to be mistakes, but being able to understand that it was a mistake that by me, or we lined up wrong, or the whatever the case may be, getting back in the huddle, calling it right, getting back out there, doing it, executing, being a player-led team.
Okay. Or no carryover from what you were taught last year to what you're being taught now. Does it feel that way to you, like you are starting over, starting fresh?
Yeah, no, it feels, every year is going to be a start fresh year in that sense, but with Ben, him and I are going to be here, for a while, which is the plan, and there's going to be carryover from now on, but it's different. It's a whole new playbook, different terminology, different reads, different footwork, and different things like that. So it was a lot, and it's still going to always be a lot. That's a part of playing this position, and so being able to go out there and handle it all is what we get paid to do. It's our job.
Caleb, greater sense of urgency to get out of the huddle and get lined up.
Yep.
Like even just the way you guys burst out of the huddle and get lined up. In what ways are you hoping that'll help you at the line of scrimmage, but also help the entire offense?
It helps everybody. One, it adds a sense of what our mentality is: getting out the huddle, getting on the ball, and we're going to attack you. So that's the first part. The next part is getting out there, lining up with that mentality, and then after that, it gives the center, it gives me, it gives the tackle, it gives the wide receiver to be able to see the technique of the DB. It gives the O lineman to be able to see, are we gonna double team to this backer? We're gonna push it, or are we gonna do this and that? And for me, it allows me to maybe re-mic it. It allows me to be able to grasp maybe what they're about to do. Maybe they may rotate, but have an idea off of whoever, their alignment, their depth, their leverage, and things like that. So being able to have as much time on the clock, it only helps us.
Ben talked about yesterday that he likes what you're doing behind the scenes, how it's helping you, and then he's also, gotten on you on the field. Like just both sides of that, just knowing what you're gonna get, that it's sort of almost unpredictable. Does that help you almost maybe trust him?
Unpredictable.
Well, he might, if he'll, not maybe unpredictable is the wrong word, but like that he'll praise you or he'll say like he knows
Yeah.
better here, like he just gives you both sides.
No, it's great. You want the good. To hear from, you're in here so often, so much, so long, going over these details, trying to figure it all out. And you just, if it looks good, you want to know, because you want to keep doing it over and over. You want to keep doing that same, not be a light switch. You want to do that same thing over and over and over if it's good. And so that little, that little bit of, that was a good rep, that this and that, whether it's, a pass and you're getting through your reads or you're taking the first read, good ball placement, you just want to keep doing that same thing and over and over and over again. And, obviously if it's bad, you want to hear that too, because you want to go out there and be able to execute and run it exactly how the coach wants it. And, that's what we're striving for.
Caleb, I have two questions about you being under center as opposed to the shotgun.
Yep.
What do you like the most about it? And what's the biggest challenge of it?
There hasn't really been a challenge for me under center. I know that's been a big thing. But there hasn't really been a challenge. It's just been, gaining the knowledge, how, the footwork, where we need to be, the landmarks of the running back, the landmark for me, when I set up or when when I'm rolling out or anything like that. So it's just been, practicing the technique. And so what I like about it, you get hard sell actions, backers biting, safety's eyes get, crisscross with different motions and things like that. And, it provides, the defense actually identifies it differently from when you're a gun, back offset and things like that. So it's a bunch of small, minute things that end up mattering, and, you end up having guys running free, or you end up having great leverage on a safety or things like that. So it's, it's helpful. It's going to be a part of us for a long time.
Caleb, what have you seen out of Colston Loveland early in the you guys got back on the field?
Yeah, there was. He's been great. He's a smart cat. We've hung out a few times. We actually just him and a couple other teammates. We went down to the city on our off day, and had dinner and things like that. So we're hanging out, building that bond, building that trust, and on the field wise, like I said, he's smart. He knows what he's doing. He's a young cat, so there's gonna be a few mistakes and things like that, and maybe hand placement, but. When the ball goes up and things like that, I got all faith in him. The other day I actually threw a ball down the middle to him, and the ball kind of slipped out of my hand. It was a little sweaty, and I kind of raised up because I knew the ball was slipping out of my hand after, and he went up and grabbed it and came down with it. It was a big catch, and things like that provide trust, faith, and belief that whenever that ball goes up in the air, it's his. And so other than that, it's just building a connection, routes and things like that, kind of figuring out how he moves and other things like that. So when we get out there in the field on Sundays, Thursdays, and Mondays and things like that, we're out there rolling.
Caleb, from year one to year two. Roman and Costa talked this week about learning the offense as a complete concept and not just individual routes, so that they can know what everybody else is doing and they can do it if called upon to take advantage of what the defense is doing.
Yep.
Are those things you can get to pre-snap, like after you guys leave the huddle? Can you get to those things? If you see something to take advantage of, but maybe it's Colston out there, but he can do the same thing.
Oh, I got what you're saying. Yes. We've done it a few times. We haven't, whether it's small checks, whether we're killing or alerting a play, or it's it's a small hand signal or things like that, and we're I see something and it's like, all right, here we go. It's been good. We've been adding those small wrinkles in. Everything's been put all the base stuff in, and rep those, and then every once in a while we add a little small wrinkle in that we can add to our game and our package and and our repertoire when we're out there. And so being able to have those things and being able to have guys that Luther and DJ and Rome and Colston and Cole and have these. I mean DeAndre Swift. We had one a day. Being able to, adjust and get out there and have these checks and things like that to put us in the best play possible. Yeah, it's really important that everybody knows what to do in those situations, and I think the guys have been doing a really good job with that.
Caleb, from year one to year two, how have you seen your leadership grow and bringing the offense along, learning the offense yourself, and helping your teammates be on the same page with you?
Yeah, I think part of it comes from I played a year, and like I said last year was more of a learn how everything goes, learn how the NFL is and things like that. And this year for me was trying to take a step up in my leadership role and pushing the guys. And part of it is going out there and being right and doing everything right, getting the play calls in fast. Being out there, being confident, knowing what I'm doing. And then the other half of it is when things are messing up, let's rehuddle, let's get up, come on, let's get this thing going. In 2 minutes, encouraging the guys. It's the fourth quarter. I know we're in practice. It's a hot day. It's fourth quarter. It's fourth quarter in the game. It's time to go win. So let's go win this game. So it's small things like that. The encouragement, the belief in ourselves, the belief in our hard work that we're putting in, and then other than that, it's going out there and having fun and showing it.
Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. The Bears.